I am 30, a musician, playing gigs and at an orchestra as a violinist. Rehearsals just resumed, so orchestra is my main source of income at the moment. My sister, 26, is a social worker, working 3 days a week, so minimal income, but she adores her job. I live in a small 2-bedroom apartment, both rooms around 9 or 10 square meters, using the second room as a practice room and storage for my instruments, 3 violins, 2 guitars, a digital piano, a small drum kit, and other stuff. 4 months ago my sister broke up with her boyfriend, and I offered her my spare room, temporarily. I moved most of my stuff to the living room, so I could fit a small bed in there. Sis moved in, but she asked me to move more stuff to the living room. I moved pretty much everything sans the piano, to the point where the living room became uninhabitable. Then she started complaining about my violin playing, saying it gave her headaches. I told her I couldn't stop the daily practice without risking my only steady income. The arguments got worse. She told me to play only when she wasn't home, but with her work schedule I couldn't afford that. I tried switching to the electric violin, but even that can be pretty loud, so it didn't help. Several times I reminded her this was only a temporary arrangement, but she didn't seem to hear me. 2 weeks ago I arrived home to finding my piano in the bathroom, near water and humidity, because my sis needed the space for her new double bed. When I told her she can't seriously expect me to store my piano there, she said, "Yeah, you will just have to sell it, I guess." I got so mad I told her she has 7 days to leave, but she didn't take me seriously. For a week I only talked to her to remind her how much time she has left, but she always laughed it off, told me to stop acting like a crazy person. When the deadline came I boxed up all her stuff while she was at work, booked an Airbnb close by, and drove her stuff there. She was livid, but couldn't do anything but take her new keys and stay there. The following week she kept calling me with an increasingly apologetic tone, saying she shouldn't have moved my piano or bought a bed. She promised she would put more effort into finding a new place, and by the end of the week I considered most of our issues at least addressed, so I drove to help her move back. But when I was carrying the first box down, she went, "I do hope you will at least stop with the violin this time." I absolutely refused to take more of that freaking violin. I dropped the box, wished her good luck and left. Now, 2 days later. On one hand it feels like a huge overreaction to leave my own sister literally homeless because of an argument about the violin. I know she cannot afford to stay there, but on the other hand, I have no plans to allow her back here because I feel she would just continue crossing boundaries and never leave. So, am I the idiot? As someone who suffers from chronic migraines and the sound of constant violin would cause me intense pain, every single day I'm still saying not the idiot. She is living in your home. If she gets headaches from violin playing, she either should make herself scarce or buy earplugs or noise-canceling headphones. When I had to move back in with my parents, I never wished when my stepfather would have Zoom meetings for work in the next room. I'd ask them to keep it down if I had a bad migraine, but only when he wasn't working. I'd never ask him to sacrifice his job performance, which is what she's asking you to do. Not the idiot. Can I just say the part when the sister moved the digital piano into the bathroom literally got me heated. I have an electronic keyboard and was the last gift from my pop. I think it was around $3,000. I haven't played it in a while, but I want to hook it up for MIDI support for digital music. Sorry, off topic. But if my sister did that to me, they would never be allowed to live or visit me ever again. Plus, with how expensive instruments are plus any sentimental value, it's such a crummy move of the sister, and the bathroom was a stupid place to put it on her part. It sounds like she doesn't appreciate your property, and she's only upset she got kicked out. Not the idiot, OP. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. I am assuming you two weren't splitting the rent equally. If that was the case, then you would have to have had a talk with her explaining what kind of noise was being made daily. Then it would be her choice to move in or not. But it seems you were just doing her a favor by allowing her to move in. Her attitude is shocking to me, to be honest, truly shocking. On so many levels. Not the least of which is the practical level. You need to practice in order to remain employed, in order to pay the damn rent. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Very simple math here. She should be extremely grateful. You would not be doing her any favors if you allowed her to act this way and remain living with you. I, 45, have been a single mother to my daughter, 18, ever since her father passed away when she was a baby. It was hard pulling us through, but we made it. I finished my degree, earned a nice job with a high salary, and we now live comfortable. One of my priorities was setting aside a college fund for my daughter. Her father had started one when he found out I was pregnant, and I chose to add on to it once he passed. When she was 17, I sat down with her and told her that once she is ready for college to not worry because I and her dad have saved up money for her education. I told her this money could go towards tuition, housing, food, books, etc. She planned on moving into an apartment in the same state as the school and attending some online classes and some in person. Anything to make her college life comfortable and fun I was willing to offer. I wanted the best for her because when I went to college I struggled financially. She was grateful and thanked me. Obviously the pandemic has made school different for everyone, and senior year of HS was difficult for her, but she was still accepted into one of the top schools in the nation, USA, and I was so proud of her. 4 days ago she sat me down and told me that she was pregnant. I was shocked because she was on birth control. I figured it was an accident. She's due in September, right when school starts. That meant we had to back out of signing a lease for her future apartment and would have to stay home to raise the baby. Starting college with a newborn would have been a challenge, but doable. So I accepted it. Until later that night I overheard, not eavesdrop, her convo with her boyfriend. She told her boyfriend not to worry about supporting the baby, she would just use her college money for it. I also heard that she'd been lying to me. Turns out she decided to stop taking the pill simply because she wanted to switch to a different BC, but she didn't tell me. So for the past 3 months she's been picking up her BC, and she wasn't taking them. If she wanted to switch to something else like the implant or an IUD I would have supported it. I'm not some stuck-up prude. I was open to my daughter about protecting herself from STIs or pregnancy, so this choice confuses me. Next night I told her that she and her boyfriend would have to find a way to support the baby because her college fund was for college only. She broke down, asking me how she was going to manage to support her baby when she knew her boyfriend had a job. I told her she should have thought about that before she spread her legs with no contraception. She called me a horrible mother and grandmother BC I was setting them up for failure. I told her that I set her up for success, yet she chose the route which made things difficult for her. She told some other family members and are saying I'm the idiot and should think of the child. I replied that, while I love my grandchild, I plan on staying firm about the college fund. But now I'm unsure. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. How many times have we seen it play out on here, where they get told I'm using X fund for blank reason you got yourself into and the person comes back years later asking about X fund and whinging about how it's unfair they don't have that money now. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Keep the college fund. Even if it takes 2 or 12 or 20 or 42 years, one day she will be grateful for that chance at an education. She shouldn't have counted her chickens before they hatched. Now she needs to get it together and figure it out. Her boyfriend needs to get it together and figure it out. They chose not to use protection. Now they need to grow up. OP, I'm kind of suspicious, not going to lie. She was collecting and not taking her birth control for 3 months. 3 whole months, which is approximately 9 weeks. She had all that time to mention she wanted to change contraception. She actively said nothing. I find it hard to believe she simply forgot. How do you forget, but still faithfully manage to go pick up the original every time right on cue? I wonder if her boyfriend knows she stopped taking it. Maybe try asking him, and this happens just in time for her to be due by the time for school to start. Maybe that is a coincidence, but Something definitely seems really off here. Not the idiot. Being pregnant and having a baby at 18 isn't easy. My partner and I were both working, but I got too sick, and employers don't like that too much. Telling her boyfriend they could use the college fund like that was silly. From a lot of these posts it seems a lot of children think college fund means they have unlimited access to money their parents have saved. She needs to learn responsibility. She did what she did knowing what happens and now needs to face the consequences. I'm not saying punish her, but I'm with those saying to keep it for if she goes to school, or if not for her child. Anyhow, I work in it for a large company, so think a basic office setting. We have multiple offices for it personal, and these are set up with desks for 3 people. We get put in these offices by the boss, however we are allowed to switch it around if we want to. That is what happened at the start of this year. I have had my own office for a year prior, as we have several offices for a few people. As such, only one office has 3 people, another 2 and the other 3 1. However, a month ago Janine requested to switch offices and had asked to be put in mine. No clue why. We talk but we are not close. Regardless, I wasn't happy, but it was not my place to disagree. So she moved in and the trouble started rapidly. She told me she suffers from OCD, so needs everything a certain way. I figured this was fine as I am very organized. However, the next day she had reorganized everything in the office, including things in and on my desk. I chewed her out over it as I don't want someone to go through my stuff regardless what the reason is. The next few weeks she was making an issue out of everything from the way my coffee cup was standing to how my screen was tilted. Regardless, I suffered through it, but admittedly getting more and more annoyed. Up until last week, that is, she again reorganized stuff and went through my desk drawers, moved the stuff on my desk, etc. As such, I told her I was going to ask to switch offices, as I was not comfortable being around someone who does not respect privacy and doesn't listen when I ask her not to do something. At first, she got mad, but she quickly started pleading with me not to do it as it had involved going through my boss, and she apparently got a load of complaints and is on her last chance. As such, any further issues may cost her her job. So I refrained from it last week, but as it stands, last year I liked going to work, enjoyed work, etc. But these last months I have been annoyed, reluctant to go to work, etc. So I sort of want to switch offices. I'd honestly rather get my own office back. So would I be the idiot? Not the idiot. As someone who suffers from severe OCD, I know that managing the symptoms can be really difficult and exhausting, and can really impede one's ability to function at work or school. However, going through someone else's stuff and ignoring the wishes of coworkers is in no way justified by her illness. It's hard to resist compulsions, but she needs to understand that this is 100% not acceptable, and it is incredibly disrespectful, regardless of what she's struggling with. If her illness is to the point where she feels like she needs to invade others' stuff and space, it's her responsibility to seek help, not others' responsibility to put up with it. Not the idiot. If I were you, I'd tell her she either stops harassing you, I don't know how, call for an emergency meeting with her therapist today to find a way to control this disorder better, stop forgetting her meds, or else you're complaining and changing offices. You don't even owe her this last chance though, so regardless, you are not the idiot. It's not her fault she has OCD, but it isn't yours either. If you can't control your issues well enough to not invade somebody's privacy like that, you shouldn't work in a place with other people. Touching my stuff on my desk would set me off. Going through my desk drawers? Oh, hell no. Going against the crowd and voting no idiots here. You're not an idiot, cause screw. If someone ripped through my stuff, I'd rip them a new idiot. She's not an idiot either, cause OCD screws hard. The crowd blabbing about get her OCD in check can go and flip themselves with that lack of empathy. Your employer, on the other hand? Massive idiot if she is diagnosed with OCD, and she told this the company. They are required to reasonably cater to disabilities and medical issues, and her own office is definitely reasonable. If you have a bad conscience, give her the hint to get a lawyer. She might be protected by anti-discrimination law. Some backstory. 23. I was 13 when my family moved to America. I didn't have any friends and I hardly spoke any English. At first, kids in school were at least nice to me, but then this popular girl in my class started to bully me hardcore. She would yell out "Learn English" whenever I tried to speak to others, mocked my strong accent, and deterred other kids from hanging out with me. "Why are you talking to the weird fob girl?" etc., etc. She would also do things like throw scraps of food at me. The few friends I managed to make stopped hanging out with me. I was alone every day, came home crying every day, stressed out my poor parents so much, switched schools, went through years of therapy, etc. I'm 23 now and studying at a prestigious law school. We went our separate ways after middle school, and I made fantastic friends, learned English, obviously, became confident, successful in academia. By any measure, life is good. But, as fate would have it, she transferred to my law school class this semester. She immediately started pretending nothing happened between us and tried to befriend me, which was weird. Since the beginning of January, she has been aggressively inviting herself to hang out with groups that I'm in, messaging me as if we're old friends. She never apologized or even acknowledged what happened between us. I am not petty enough to start drama now. I have not confronted her or even told any of my friends about the crap that she used to do. But I really do not want to be her friend. So I've been giving her the cold shoulder, polite, but aimed at showing her that I don't want to be her friend. Turning down her aggressive invitations to hang out, ignoring her messages. My friends who have met her like her and think she's a sweetheart and are super confused by why I don't like her. I haven't told them the backstory because I don't want to start drama. And I don't want her to lose all her new friends in a new place. I know how crappy that feels. So she finally started telling all our new friends that I'm a witch that's bullying her and that I hate her. Now everyone thinks I'm mean to her for no reason or that I'm jealous or something. Am I the idiot? What do I do? Not the idiot. I know you don't want to start drama by telling your current friend group what happened, but it seems like drama has happened anyway. This girl sounds like a piece of work. She probably doesn't even think what she did was all that bad to begin with, hence she probably doesn't even think about it. Honestly, in general, upfront honesty is the best policy. I'd privately confront her, explain that what happened years ago deeply hurt you and still bothers you. I'm not saying to give this person another chance, but by keeping it all to yourself, you're still giving her and your past all the power in this situation. Not the idiot, but I would not go quiet about what happened. I would say in front of my friends, so they know what is what. Why are you trying to act all sweet and nice like you are trying to be my bestie? Have you forgotten that you threw food at me and tortured me for years because I was an outsider that could not speak English? You might have changed, or you might not. I am not the one who is going to judge that, but I choose not to be friends with a bully like you, so I want to be clear on that. You can pretend to be sweet as pie, but I know you, and I am not buying it. She is trying to get your friends to dislike you. Do something to let them know who is who before it's too late, and it looks like you are doing it out of desperation. Not the idiot. Yikes, this is one of my nightmares. Middle school and early high school were not fun for me, and I did everything possible to leave as soon as I could. I would maybe confide in one or two close friends, but I also understand the fear that this will become bigger, since professional schools tend to act like high school socially. I hate when adults tell bullied children that it'll get better when they're older, because bullies remain idiots. Sure, as adults we have more say in whom to surround ourselves with, but the trauma lingers and unfortunately, some idiots also linger. Sending OP a hug, stay strong. Don't let it get you down.